Hi, it's Donna from Simple Online Solutions, and I have with me today Jennifer Sheahan. Now, Jennifer has 2 pages on Facebook. One is FB Ads Lab, and the other one's called ppcmum.com. That's M-O-M. I know, it's my Aussie accent. So when I first started on Facebook, I actually stumbled across the PPC Mum one first, and then over to the FB Ads Lab. And I have done a couple of courses with Jen. She's got great information. So I asked her today, would she join us and just share with us a little bit more about what she does. So first of all, Jen, let me welcome you to the call. So how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks, Donna. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, you've had a few little dramas with the children, so I hope everybody's fine at home.
Yeah, everybody's doing well. They're nice, asleep in their beds. It's nice and quiet.
Oh, excellent. So, Jen, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm originally from America, but I live in Australia now, and I am an affiliate marketer, online marketer for a couple of years now. I used to be a psychologist and a preschool teacher and that kind of stuff, but I started online a few years ago, and I very quickly fell in love with pay-per-click advertising, so on Google AdWords and other platforms, Yahoo and Bing and those sort of things. That's where my passion with internet marketing began. And then very quickly, a couple of months later, I found Facebook pay-per-click. And the traffic on Facebook was amazing that I very quickly moved over from AdWords straight over to Facebook, and I haven't looked back.
So how long have you been on Facebook then? In terms of using it as a marketing tool?
A couple of years, a few years now. I think I started back in 2008, so a while ago.
So when you started back in 2008, was it any different in terms of using Facebook ads then as it is to now?
Oh, it was completely different, and it changes every week. It's almost unrecognizable from what the platform was back then, and I have to say that I think it's improved dramatically for businesses and small business owners and even large business owners, because they've been very, very strict on affiliate marketing and scams and spammy links and that kind of stuff. They've been very strict on that and really done their best to keep the user experience in mind, which is, Facebook is just amazing, as you would know, about keeping the experience for all of us who go there every day as clean and as simple and as clutter-free as possible. And if you think back to what MySpace used to look like, I don't know, were you a member of MySpace?
No, I haven't been a MySpace person.
Well, MySpace was just really, everybody could have a different wallpaper, and it was really, flashy ads, and things were sparkling and jumping out at you and all kinds of stuff everywhere, and it just was very noisy, and Facebook have gone the opposite way. So, they've made a lot of changes over the years. It's been fantastic for a lot of us.
Okay, yes, I did go to MySpace and see all those things, so I know what you're talking about there. Now, Jen, couple of things is I normally ask people about how they went through and increased their fan base, but I'm going to stick away from that today, and I was just wondering whether you would be prepared, because I know this is one of your core businesses, whether you'd be prepared to share with us about Facebook ads, about setting them up, about doing them, because I think there's a lot of mystery out there. People think it's really hard, or people think that, it's going to cost a lot of money. But there is obviously some great techniques, and I have done your course, so I know that you're very good at teaching this. But would you be agreeable to actually sharing with us about Facebook ads and how to get started, and a little bit of information in terms of using them as a marketing tool?
Absolutely. I think it's important for people to understand that Facebook is, at its heart, it's a social network. People want to be social. So that's a key difference from why someone goes to Google and searches for something. So if you need a doghouse or a kennel, you might go to Google and search for, kennel Melbourne, or buy kennel Melbourne, or buy a doghouse in Melbourne, or something like that. But it doesn't work that way on Facebook. Like, nobody's going to put in their profile that they're looking for a doghouse. Like, it's something that's in the back of your mind that you need to buy something like that. And so as advertisers or as marketers or as business owners, we need to understand that we've got to speak to what's in the back of the mind of our customers because it's not in the front of their mind when they're on Facebook. When they're on Facebook, they're there to look at pictures and play a game and, watch a video and have fun and, see what their ex-boyfriend's up to. But they're not there to buy a kennel. So if you do sell kennels, then how can you get the attention of somebody who's not really thinking about that at the moment? And Facebook ads are a fantastic way to do that, and it's very cost effective. So some of the tips, let me just, if it's okay with you, I'll just walk you through like how that would work, assuming you were selling a kennel. Let's just stick with that idea. You can target, using the Facebook advertising platform, you can target your customers directly. And what I mean by that is you can go into the Facebook advertising section, which is at the bottom of every Facebook page. You just you look at the bottom of the page and it'll say advertising, and you can click on that, and then that will then take you to a place where you can create an ad, and they walk you through each step of the way. What do you want your ad to say? Where do you want them to go after they click? What image would you like to use? What headline would you like to use? And so you can just follow that step by step all the way through. And when you come to the likes and interests section, you're able to then put in people who like dogs, or people who have a dog, or people who have pets, or a particular kind of dog. And you can target people who have, dogs in their profile, or they've been talking about dogs, or they like dogs, or they've mentioned that they have a pet. So you can also target people by their city that they live in. So in our case, we could target people who live in Melbourne, or if you could ship Australia-wide, you could say that. And you could also target, if you know that most of your customers are, say, women between the ages of 35 and 45, well, you could target them too. So by gender, by marital status, by age, by their education, all kinds of stuff for targeting your customers on Facebook ads. And then you can create that ad and set your own budget. So if you don't have a huge budget, which most of us don't have a huge budget when we're starting out, if you've got $10 to spend, you can set your budget to be $10. And I advise that you set your cost per click down to like 25 or 30 cents just to give it a test, and then submit your ad and see how you go. So then every time someone clicks on your ad, you'll be charged 25 or 30 cents up to a maximum of $10 for that day. And then you can see if people come to your site and buy your dog kennel, there you go. You've got traffic and you've got sales, and you've only spent $10 to get it.
Two things that I just got from that. When you were talking about targeting, so I have done Google AdWords, and you can't target. You can't say, I want to pick people that have got, say, golden retrievers in Brisbane or Melbourne. So that's obviously got to be a huge advantage of using Facebook ads. It's
a huge, huge advantage, and I definitely recommend that. I think targeting is what makes Facebook ads so powerful. And if you have a Facebook fan page, which I'm sure most of the people listening to this will have a Facebook fan page because they're listening to you and they're following your instructions, Facebook fan pages are great because then once you have a group of fans, you can also advertise only to your fans, which is great because you know they already know you and they already trust you and they already like you, or they're already interested in your topic. So that helps you target them even more. They've already got a relationship with you, and there's no other platform in the world that I know of that allows you to be that specific. There was one time, and you can't do this anymore, but there was one time where I was able to create an ad that was specific to a particular friend of mine. And I did that by targeting the city that they lived in and the company that they worked at, the age, the gender, the marital status, and their school and their interest. And I knew that there were only about 10 people that worked in this company who were in that city because it had like a different, a branch that only had 10. It had a lot of employees nationwide, but it didn't have that many people in this city. And I was able to have an ad that appeared on her page. So that's how specific you can get, and that's just an example of how amazing and powerful this platform really is. And if you set your budget low, anybody can afford it.
So two questions that spring to mind. You did Google AdWords for quite some time.
Yep.
So would you say that it's cheaper to run Facebook ads, or it's just more effective?
Well, I think it's probably a little bit of both, and it really, really will depend on your market. We've got a lot of clients that we run Facebook ads for clients, and most of them have Google AdWords accounts running. Now, depending on the market and the keywords that you're bidding on in Google, you could be paying, $1, $2, $3. Some people are paying, $3.50, $4 per click on Google, and they're able to come to Facebook and maybe get clicks for $1 or 80 cents or 75 cents. So that's a huge difference. And if you have, a few $100s to spend per day, you can get a lot more clicks if you're only paying a third or a quarter of the price. But that's not the case in all markets. I mean, some markets may still be cheaper on Google AdWords, but I haven't found one yet. Everybody I've tested, it's cheaper on Facebook.
I was recently chatting to a lady who was running some Google AdWords, and she was given something like $1,000 from Google. And she said to me, I'm just not getting the clicks. And I said, if I was given that amount of money, I'd be ramping it up and spending $50 a day or making sure I got the exposure on it. And then I explained to her that she should look at Facebook because exactly what you're saying about the targeting. And she just really didn't know that you could do that on Facebook.
Yeah.
And, I think that sort of, maybe it's just a hidden secret, or maybe it's something that we shouldn't be sharing so that people don't realize they can jump on over and do it.
It is just really, it's very, very powerful. So the main things that I want people to understand, though, is that you have to have a different mindset when you're creating your ad. Because if you just want to sell something and your ad is just promoting, just selling it, it's not really going to grab their attention. So I recommend you use emotion and make sure your image is really good and you understand like whatever the pain is that they've got. So using our dog kennel example, maybe you have a picture of a really sad looking dog with no house in the rain or something like that. Or you have a dog kennel that is all run down and falling apart, or something that will really speak to those people and they'll go, oh yeah, that looks just like my dog kennel. I do need a new one. And that's the best way I've found to really get to the heart of the matter and get people's emotions involved.
So, Jen, how many ads usually run down the side of a page? Is it 4?
4. Right now it's 4. A few months ago it was 3, and on one page I found 5. So they keep sneaking them in here and there, and probably, in a couple of weeks they'll have another one somewhere. But yeah.
And how did sorry to interrupt.
No.
How do they figure out? Because there is a person that keeps coming up on mine all the time, and I know you have the ability to be able to click on it and say, I don't want to see those anymore, but I'm too scared to do that in case it goes against them because I don't want to upset anybody. But how do they work out what shows on a page?
Well, it depends on the targeting. It depends on who else is advertising on that, to that exact market. And it's very possible that whoever is appearing on your page over and over and over and over again has a really small, very tight target. So that maybe they're only targeting 1,000 people, and those 1,000 people are seeing those ads over and over and over again. But as an advertiser, that approach is not very effective. And if you have the same ad running for more than 5 or 6 days, your results are going to drop quickly. So I recommend that you have different ads running so you can turn one on and turn it off and make it look a little bit different for people.
It's interesting. I don't read the ads. I look at the pictures.
Yes.
I'm a picture girl.
Most people do. That's right.
And I have, I definitely, sometimes I'll be midst of doing something and I'll look at it and then I look at all the ads and I know this is really, really funny, but I purposely went out and bought some spray for the dogs, like dogs that have, the puppy. We have a little puppy, and he'd had an accident inside, and so the Facebook ad was this, one about for dogs, and I actually went down the store and bought it, and then I responded back on their page telling them that I'd bought it, and I was very excited because I thought, I'm probably one of those people they love.
Yeah, that's right.
So when you get started with your Facebook ads, do you just have one picture, or should you be changing things, or is there sort of a little strategy you should be following, or just give it a go?
Yeah, look, I start with about 10 because image is everything, and you just don't know. Really, often the images I think are going to work, maybe don't work as well as others, or I'm always surprised. And things do change all the time. What people are interested in, what grabs their attention changes. And if everybody else is doing something, then it's not eye-catching anymore. So like a little while ago, it was really eye-catching to have an optical illusion as the image. And a lot of people were doing that. So they had like an optical illusion, you know, where you looked at it and it looked like you were looking down a tunnel or something. And people were doing that all the time, and they got really good click-through rates from it. But that you don't see those anymore. And it's mainly because they don't work anymore. Like that had its lifespan, and that's over now. So I start with about 10, and my recommendations for images are to have amateur-looking images. If you go to like iStock Photo or Shutterstock or something like that, look for photos that look like somebody took the snapshot with their own home camera, because those big professional images with, that look like they were taken in a photo studio with people wearing suits and stuff, they just do not work. I've never had an ad work with one of those, really Shutterstock-looking photos. So get creative with that, or get your camera out and take free photos for yourself.
Excellent. So, Jen, if people wanted to learn more about you, and I'm going to give you a little plug here, wanted to go and do one of your courses because I think they're fantastic, how would they track you down, or what's the best way to track you down?
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. So I have a website, which is at fbadslab.com. And there's a lot of information there we have a monthly membership program which has a full 12-module video training package included in the first month. So that's only $47 right now, and it's very, very thorough. So that will tell you exactly what you need to know to get everything up and running and get yourself some traffic. And I also have a fan page which is facebook.com/fbadslab. So if you ever have any Facebook questions, or you need some help, or you get stuck, or you can't get your ads approved or whatever, then those two places are great resources to come to and just ask me a question, and I'll be there to help you.
Awesome. Well, I do have to ask you one last question, and that would be, before you go, what tip would you like to share with the listeners about probably the best tip to get people to your Facebook page?
Oh, how to get... I think the best way to get people to your Facebook page is just to be real. I see a lot of people just auto-posting from their blog or auto-posting from Twitter or whatever, and I don't know. It's just to be real. Just be there and be yourself and talk to people. Look for what they're interacting with. Like, check your insights and see what people are interacting with on your page, and what gets the most comments, and what gets the most likes, and what kind of media on your page gets the most discussion, and try to do more of that, because that's going to be different for each market. Like, it's going to be different for me than it is for you, and just be real. I know I kind of babbled on a bit there, but really just being yourself has been the best thing for me, and not trying to be anybody else or trying to be something that I'm not. And I think the people who come to my page regularly know who I am, and they know me, and I'm not putting on a fake facade or anything like that. It's just a nice way to interact with people.
Excellent. Well, Jen, I really thank you for your time, because I know you've had some issues to deal with today with the children. You've shared fantastic information with us, so thank you very much for sharing with us. And for everybody that's listening, please do pop over FB Ads Lab and say hi to Jen. Tell her that you have been listening to her on this call, and thank you very much for sharing with us.
No worries. Thanks, Donna.
This is Donna from Simple Online Solutions, and thank you.